I've had this Neato Botvac D7 connected for over a year and had it run multiple times a day, almost every day, since like November of 2019. And right now, when I turn it on, what it does, let's watch what it does. You probably can't see really from being on the table. This wheel's working, but this one's not. So I've had this issue before, and this is actually probably my least favorite thing that I've had to fix on this. I've replaced the side brush belt, I've replaced the main drive belt, I've replaced one of these motors before, I've replaced the belt and the LiDAR, I've replaced several of the bump sensors. I've cleaned poop out of it after it ran over dog stuff, and so yeah, this will just be one more time taking apart my least favorite thing to fix. And if I don't do it, then we're gonna have dog fur all over the house. I probably needed to clean this thing out anyway. It's been a minute. Ew. That's gross. The first thing we do is we remove the bumper cover and the brush and this plastic thing. And what did I just drop out of it? Oh, drop the side brush. Then we're going to take the battery out of it. Don't need the battery. I know what the issue is. The issue is that one of the wires and one in which motor was it? This motor is bad, and I soldered it, and I guess I need to resolder it. So to get to it, you have to fully disassemble the whole thing. So I'm going to use a number 10 Torx, and there's a bunch of screws here on the bottom that I'm going to take out. You definitely want to buy a Torx that fits, because you don't want to strip these out. Or at least if you're me and you torture your robots and you're going to have to take it apart pretty often, you don't want to strip the screws out. You want to keep track of them too, because you don't want to miss any holes. Of course, I'll just end up with an extra part, and then the next time I have to fix it, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's where I forgot to put a screw, and that's when I'll fix it. Come on. Oh, I don't think there was a screw in that one. I must have missed that one. Alright. Now, careful you don't lose any screws when you flip it over. I usually just dump them out. But there's two more on top we're going to have to get. Get that one and that one. We're not going to need the dustbin either, so we'll take that out and set that aside. Clean all the dog hair off. Oh man, that was a lot of dog fur and dust. Crud. Let's go ahead and dust that off. Oh. Dust out the robot. Alright. So now that you've done that, I think I've got all the screws out. Now, there's two tabs on the front. Pop them off. Let's see. Oh, I missed a screw. That's why it's not coming apart. this anymore. And then the lid just comes right off. Now what I need to get to is actually underneath inside of these wells are the wires for the motors. So that's probably broken off right where it goes into the motor. So this is my least favorite thing to get to. So I want to say the way that we do this, there's 2 screws, also number 10 Torx. I'll take that one out. This is also my least favorite thing to put back together in the whole thing. Hold it in, it's all spring loaded. You don't want screws and springs flying everywhere. If you don't have those springs, you're not going to get the robot to work the right way. Alright, got that out, got that out. Now that whole thing kind of pulls out. Probably need to disconnect some of these little side cables. That's actually the switch and the sensor. Yeah, there's a switch that detects when the wheel is completely pushed down, and then there's the stuff for the motor itself to control that. Oh, dusty. And I bet if I look at this wheel, I'm going to find a broken wire somewhere. Not on that one. Let's see, it would spin that way. Wheel seems like it would be okay. Let's go ahead and check the other one since we're already here. Ah, there's the problem. That would be it. So you see here, there's a wire that came off of that board. Not sure. Looks like maybe we got plus and minus and speed feedback, and then, or no, probably 3 phases of speed feedback and a negative. I don't know. See, there's nothing wrong with the motor, but to get to this, we're gonna have to take the motor assembly apart. So we'll just take this and set this aside. Now we'll take out the soldering iron. Probably get that heated up. I'm not going to need a lot of solder, so we'll just use this little, this is my travel solder. It's kind of convenient for small stuff. Oh, and yeah, this one's actually going to require a different Torx. Let's see, which one do you use? Is it that one? Nope. Is that too small or too big? That's too small. That was definitely too big. Ah, there we go. That's a number 8 Torx. Looks like we got 5 screws holding this whole thing together. And this is actually a really crappy design, because these wheels, when they're in there, they can go up and down so that they can traverse different heights of carpet and door thresholds and such. Oh, and we even need a really big Torx to get that wheel off, I think. Yeah, we're going to need to do that. So that feels like it should be maybe a number 16 Torx, but my 15's getting the job done. Alright, one big screw, the wheel comes off. There's a gear there. Oh, and one more screw. Coda's gonna bark the entire time. Alright, now we get that apart. Just leave those gears there, we'll take the motor out, and now we can get to the place that we need to get to, so we can fix that wire. Fire up the soldering iron and get this thing. It's so cold right now. Come on. Technical difficulties, 1 minute. Okay, soldering iron wants to work now. Let's see. How would we do this? Like some glue or something on here. Maybe it'll just melt right off. We don't want to. Oh, we actually have 2 broken wires. Ooh, that one was questionable. Oh, let's see if we can just resolder all 3 of these. It is blue, orange, brown. I'll make a note of that actually before I forget. I got the blue one pretty cleaned up. Getting the orange one, this glue. I love the robot vacuum, but I don't know how people own these things, really. It could get pretty expensive. Does the glue need heat? orange was not quite broken off, but it was getting there. Well, I think I can work with that. So then, take our strippers. Cut a little bit back. Oh, someone like me said that. Get the screw on there. Let's try these. I'm gonna have to adjust the screw. Just get that right. All right, strip that one. Strip that one. Now we gotta tin the wire. Go ahead and clean the soldering iron up a little bit. Okay, stay right there. That one's tinned. That one's tinned. Once you've tinned the wires, kind of just trim off that little end so you have a nice clean place to operate off of. Yep. Now, I'm just gonna solder that orange wire right there and then the blue one right next to it. Hopefully, still need to set this desk up. What can I do? Maybe a wood clamp. Don't know if that's gonna work. This will work. If not, there we go. Alright, my solders are nice and shiny, and they're not going anywhere. Just have to strain relief things pretty well inside. Keep this from happening again, hopefully. So then we just do the reverse. So we put the motor back in, put this back over that, and then the first screw that needs to go in is the one that's hidden behind the wheel. Is it that one? And then we can put our wheel on to make sure the gears slide into place. Putting this thing back together is my least favorite part. This is honestly what we just got done is the easiest part of the whole process. But getting these springs and everything fitted back in where this is going to work the right way is a real challenge. Go ahead and put our screws back in. This is super dirty too. Go ahead and set them all in there. Once you get a few of them in there, make sure the motor still turns the way it normally should. Make sure all the gears are lined up and in place. All right, so now that's done. So let's get some tools out of the way. Make sure we keep out the ones we are going to need. We're done with the soldering iron. Done with that clamp. Alright, so now we got to get our motors back in. Let's see, which is the one I just soldered? Was it that one? Or is it that one? It's definitely this one. That one goes there, this one goes here. I don't know if that's important or not, but we're going to try to keep things consistent. Make sure, get that in. That needs to go up. Like that. That's how it goes in. And then slide that in. Okay. And then, yeah. Okay. Got that one in. Now let's get this one in. Okay. The tricky thing about this whole process is keeping everything from moving until you're ready to pop it all back together. Okay, that's in. Now the next hardest thing, getting this thing back together. This has taken me half an hour to get back together, just this one piece right here. So we'll see if you get any better doing it over and over and over. Oh, did I get it in? I got it in. Okay. One thing we did not get in though, you got to get these springs in. If you don't get the springs in, they're not going to push down on the wheels, and it's just not going to work. It's not going to drive correctly. So to do that, you get a slotted screwdriver that's a little bit bigger than the spring. And let me remember how I did this. Okay, that's how I do it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to screw it back in. So there's 2 screws, one right there. And one right here. Alright. Once you've done that, you see the wheel's just going to fall out. So what you can do once it's screwed in, you can pop it up, stick a spring there, push down, compress the spring. And you want to do this in a place where you're not going to lose the spring. Maybe right here by the garage door wouldn't be the best spot. That screwdriver's almost a little too small. Let's see, how about a number 3 Phillips? Yeah, let's try that. Oops. Let's see. Oh, come on, come back. Can you get it in? Is it in? That's not in. It's in, but it's not hitting the spot that it needs to. There we go. Very good, very snappy. I'm going to do it to the other side. Coda is not happy. I am not up in my office with him. Oh, sometimes. Slide it off. I'm sure there's a better tool to do this. I just don't own it. Oh, it's almost there. There we go. There we go. All right. Now, let's plug the motors back in. The first time I did this, I didn't know the best way to do it, so I literally unplugged all of this. So this is actually a personal record for time. All right. Make sure we didn't disconnect anything else. I think that looks pretty good. It's a little dusty. Can't dust the vacuum too much, right? This is important. There's a little button for the sensor that detects the dust bin. You want to make sure that that little rubber switch is able to get right back inside where it needs to go. Yep, right there. Getting there. Some wires in the back, isn't it? Let's keep this held up. Something right here. always become a mess. Maybe that's how it needs to go. Tuck that a little further. There we go. Right? Alright. I'm not going to fully assemble this thing because I want to make sure that it actually works. And you know that it actually works because when this thing comes off the base, it drives straight out like 2 or 3 feet and then scans the room and starts driving. And this one, it would turn on and just immediately start spinning in a circle. So I knew there was something wrong with the wheels. Let's go ahead and pop the battery back in so it can be booting back up. I'm about 90% sure that I got this right the first time, but you never know. Sometimes you open this thing up and you go to fix one thing and you end up breaking something else. You got to take it back apart and fix whatever it is you broke. They're very fragile. Should have just bought the warranty on this thing, right? That's what other people do, I think. This definitely has to void the warranty. Alright, let's go ahead and you kind of got to fake the robot into meeting everything it needs to turning on. We don't need the main brush, but we do need the dustbin. So let's set that on the ground. Hopefully it just starts driving in a straight line. If it starts spinning in circles, then I know there's still an issue with it. That could be normal, actually. There we go. It can drive in a straight line. Yep, it knows what it's doing. Alright, come back. You're done. Let's go ahead and finish putting the rest of the screws in it, because it appears what we have done is working. Coda is just going to need to wait another 5 minutes. So sassy. And I don't care who you are. We could be best friends. I'm not taking apart your robot vacuum. You're going to have to do that yourself, because this is probably one of my least favorite things about owning a robot vacuum, is having to continually take it apart and clean it, replace things on it. I mean, I do torture this thing all the time, so definitely gotten our money's worth. Not upset about it. Just mildly annoying. Oops, that one did not go in the right way. Come on. There we go. Got some of this junk in the brush. Let's do that later. This thing hasn't run all week, so we need to get it back to work because the house is full of dog fur. Let's see. Do this. Come on. Normally, there we go. Make sure all your sensors are good. I'm gonna have him clean up the table. Alright. And that's it, folks. That's how you repair your robot vacuum. So maybe now you'll go and buy one so you can also do this. That's a good robot. Good boy, Wally.